What was the moment that your game of truth or dare got way out of control? At my first job, back when I was a teenager, about 6 of us were playing this mid-shift. 3 girls, 3 guys. It was barely starting to get risque, and one of the guys is asked, "Have you ever masturbated to thoughts of a coworker?" And he says yes. This is as juicy as it's gotten, so we latch onto it. The next time around, he's asked if he's masturbated to anyone else playing. He says yes. Next round, he's asked to name which of us he's jerked it to. He looks at us one by one, then says all of you. The guys all got flustered as hell. They'd never even realized they were on the roster. Not truth or dare, but during a game of Neve Have I Ever, my friend said never have I ever blown a guy. All the girls put down fingers. Said friend looked at my boyfriend and said, "Oh, you have to put a finger down." Turned out my boyfriend cheated on me with a guy. Kicker, every single person in the room playing the game knew about it but me. Awkward silence ensued. Playing with some friends a long time ago. It was a card-based game, like Cards Against Humanity, where everyone had a pile of truth cards and dare cards. For each turn the victim would opt for a truth or a dare. The questioner would then pull the top card from the appropriate stack, either a card with a question on it, usually off color or loaded with sexual innuendo, or a card with a dare on it, also semi-sexual, but suitable for adult parties. We were 2 couples, and so we took turns as couples, i.e. each partner would take turns with the other partner of the couple. The other couple was a pair of young newlyweds. The woman asked her husband if he wanted a truth or a dare. He replied truth. She pulled the top card. Have you ever paid for sex? His answer, yes. Things got very chilly the rest of the night. My late 20s cousin took me to his apartment when I was around 8 or 9, stripped down to his underwear, and wanted to play truth or dare. I dared him to put his pants back on. Unfortunately, he complied and didn't proceed with the game any further. Still freaked me the fuck out. When I was around 10, I played truth or dare with some girls a few years older than me. I got dared to TP the principal's house of their school. It was a pretty big house, maybe 3,500 square feet. They all ended up coming with me, but my dad catches us sneaking out and asks us where we are going. All of the girls start stammering and trying to tell a lie, and I look at my dad and say we are gonna go TP a house. My dad starts laughing and responds with, "Well, sounds like you need adult supervision for that, let's go." We ended up bringing a 10-pack of toilet paper and using the entire thing. 'Twas a fun night. My friend's little brother, 9 or 10 years old, came in and dared one of the girls to slit her finger open, put a paper clip into her finger, then stick that paper clip into an electrical outlet while it was still in her finger. After we told him no, he offered a replacement dare, which was to go down the street and burn down the church. Me, a cousin, and a couple of buddies were at a youth conference in another town. After the conference was over, we got to chatting with a group of girls from the town. We decided to hang out back at our hotel room. We were all just chatting and listening to tunes when all of a sudden, all 4 girls went to the bathroom together, leaving us sitting there like chumps. When they came out, they were all grinning. But we thought nothing of it. A few minutes later, one of them proposed a game of truth or dare. But they insisted the girls would be the ones to make all the dares. We agreed, hoping for at least some scraps of action. Long story short, every single one of us wound up getting laid. One of the guys even did it on the floor, and the other couple fucked in the bathroom. Turns out, the girls had planned it all along. They decided in advance which of them wanted each of us, got their story straight, and then proposed the game. They'd even brought their own condoms. The only drawback was, did it stink like fuck in that room when my uncle came strolling in to wake us up the next morning. I was 14 or 15, I do not remember. Someone dared a much older girl to make out with me in a closet for 5 minutes. She was very pretty, way out of my league, and I think 18 or 19. But she took the dare. We get in the closet in the basement that was very small and very hot. Smelled like old mothballs and old clothes. She smelled like cigarettes, nice shampoo, and bubblegum. She gave me a super soft little kiss on the cheek and then, in very limited space, gave me my first and most memorable blowjob ever. I did not know how to react, since this was before the internet. I honestly had no idea people did this. I remember being very excited when anyone after that said we should play truth or dare. This girl asked her friend to dare someone to have unprotected sex with her. When he received the dare, he literally just got up and walked out the house. Then the girl gets drunk, tries it on with a few guys there, to which they all rejected, confessed her love to another guy there, threatened to kill herself, then fell asleep. This was a few years ago. I saw her a few months back, and she looked pretty normal to me. That is pretty and normal, but I will never forget that day. Friend got dared by his girlfriend to have sex with her in the other room and finish inside her, no birth control. He refused. They broke up. We found out it was a setup. She had planned to get herself priggies and force him to marry her. Strange night. At a party, someone asked who gave you the best blowjob ever, hoping to get a compliment. Instead, we found out that the man had received a BJ from every woman there, and one of the men. That started a long chain of wait, Bob had sex with Sally, when, etc. Names changed, feelings were hurt. PS I was also at a party where people decided that truth or dare was too much effort, so we played a strip game. We had game components that said yes/no/depends. You stripped on a yes and drew again on depends. Eventually everyone went streaking, and there was sumo wrestling in the backyard. I was playing truth or dare with some friends during lunch in high school. Someone dared me for whatever reason to take my friend's inhaler and spray it in another friend's ear. I was being stupid, and without thought I actually did it. One of the deans in my school was watching across the room, and I nearly got suspended for assault. They even had a police officer come and talk to me about my actions. I was actually scared shitless because that was my first time ever getting into huge trouble. Luckily the vice principal spared me and didn't even notify my parents because she knew I was a good kid. The game was escalating too fast anyway. This wasn't even the worst thing that happened that night, but gay friend accepted a dare to put his erect penis in a female friend. Boyfriend got him hard, and while everyone, including the victims, laughed, he mounted friend and started pumping away. OMG, this actually feels great. He managed to get out before looking really ecstatic. She was enjoying herself as well. It got awkwardly sexy. They were just plain fucking. It didn't last long. He came. OMG, I just came. Ha ha ha. OMG, if I get pregnant I'm gonna kill you, ha 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 ha. The game went on. More awkwardness was had. Nothing topped the awkwardness of her calling him a week later, in tears, because she was indeed pregnant. She did not murder him in the end. The kid just turned 18, FYI. In my first or second year of uni, my group of friends and I were having a get together after finals ended. Considering finals had just ended, and it was only about 7 of us, consuming alcohol seemed like the go-to activity. So once the buzz started to hit us, one of my friends tried to start a game of spin the bottle, but being a group of 3 couples and 1 single guy, we decided to play truth or dare instead. Like all truth or dare games, it started out pretty innocently. Take more shots. Who's your celebrity crush? ECT. But eventually things turned a bit weird. Our one single guy decided to dare one of the girls to lick whipped cream off of his schlong, and with a reluctant nod from her boyfriend she got to action. Or at least tried to. Once she took off the dude's pants and saw his, well, hung appendage, she yells, "Damn, I've never seen one this big." And before she could even uncap the whipped cream, her boyfriend was swinging full force at the guy. Me and my other friend had to get in between a half-naked guy and a drunk ape, and by the time we split them up everyone was uncomfortable as hell. After we resolved it and me and my girlfriend started leaving, I just remember her leaning up to my ear and telling me she knew her boyfriend was self-conscious about his dick. Probably the most extreme was at a weekend cabin party I was at. We were in a hot tub. There were 7 of us. Most of the women were topless and some of us guys were bottomless. This had been going on for like a couple hours at this point, and we were supremely drunk. The dares got a little sexual, but that's not the extreme part of this. It's early May, but as the night goes on it gets very cold. Then it starts to rain. Then the wind picks up. We're all too exposed and afraid of the cold to want to leave the safety of the hot tub. I also think we were too drunk to notice the conditions around us getting worse. But eventually we started sobering up, and the heat of the water started dissipating. Still, the game continued. We were all shivering but no one wanted to be the first to wimp out. Until our sober sibling for the night comes out and yells at us to come in. The hot tub was sort of in the corner of this cabin, so she was surprised at what she saw, to say the least. Not 5 minutes after we gather our clothes and get inside, a gust of wind comes through and starts blowing around the furniture outside and also knocks out power. Later we found out that the wind we had continued to play truth or dare and had gotten up to 70 miles per hour. There was some serious damage back in town. Some of the town didn't have power for a week, which makes it surprising that we still had it at our dinky cabin on the side of a mountain. When we left 2 days later there were branches blocking the road down from the cabin we had to clear. We all came very close to dying of hypothermia and or having our heads split open by flying furniture. Played it with some friends at one of their apartments. Before the game we wrote down dares on slips of paper, and on one of the slips I wrote down that you had to strip down to your underwear with your pants around your ankles, wear a blue shirt as a cape, exit the apartment and slowly waddle to the end of the long hallway and back, all while repeatedly saying gotta go fast. I thought it was bizarre and great. I picked my own dare. Probably 20 years old at the time. GF, her sister and girl cousin from Germany, were in the car. Cousin says let's play, and so we all said okay. All fun and games till we pull over into a McDonald's parking lot and I get dead to walk in and order fries in my underwear. They drove off and I had to borrow the phone to call my GF to make them come back for me. Saw all their tits though, so it was worth it. When I was 12 I was on the porch playing truth or dare at night. We were told to stay on the porch, so a dare came to run across the road to the street light and back. So all 3 of us girls did it. I was wearing a plain t-shirt and a ball cap hiding my hair in typical tomboy fashion. As we hit the light post and began to run back to the porch, a car comes screeching round the corner to stop in the middle of the intersection. Man jumps out with a crowbar. We freak and run for the house, and he gives chase. I was lost in the small herd, and I have been told, just as the crowbar is about to come down on me, I screamed and he stopped. The man yells, "Were you throwing rocks at my fucking car?" No. I cried as it's now full on fear tears, but I'm still running. He pivots around and leaves, just as quickly as he showed up in his new Ish Camaro. I assume he realized I was not in fact a boy. We are panicked, freaking out. This psycho almost killed me. Once the sound of his engine fades, across the street 2 boys come out of the dark between 2 houses, about our age, one in a bowl cap, asking if we are okay. Yes, they were the throwers of the rocks, and hightailed it home, after confirming I had not been bludgeoned to death for their childish vandalism. No idea what happened to the man, and our parents never called the cops. If memory serves, I'm not sure they believed us, and we are pissed we left the porch. I'm 34 now, and remember that run like it was yesterday. Our first time I hung out with this girl in elementary school at her house. She wanted to play truth or dare with me and her brother. We were maybe 10 or 11, and he was like maybe 7. His first dare? For his sister to undress in front of us. I'm expecting her to be like WTF no, but alas. She takes off her shirt and drops her shorts. I'm honestly thinking about going home. The worst part? She drops her underwear, and it has crusty, shitty skid marks in them. We are 10. In the 5th grade. Then, her brother shouts "S got a fudgy," and points and laughs. I went home not long after, and no, we never hung out again. Ha ha ha.